Hey y'all, I'm Derek and welcome back to 31 Days of Found Horror. So, today we have another movie, who knew? And it's about an hour long and it's called Siren. She's still crying, it's over, it's over. Oops, sorry. Actually, that gives me an idea. Since this show is as much for my entertainment as your entertainment, for this review I'm going to pepper in as many lyrics from the song Sound Siren by one of my favorite bands, Unwritten Law. Don't judge me, they're a good band. Why? Why not? It's fun. So bombs away, and as they say, here's to oblivion. Let's get started. Okay. It was not that bad of a movie. It was weird and went off the rails, but okay. So the provenance of this film is that these images were found on a hard drive that was left at the police station regarding the 4 kids that have been missing for a few years at that time. And the hard drive is labeled Siren. Oh no, they name dropped the movie! And so this is the unedited footage from that hard drive. And so there's a couple of scenes beforehand that mean nothing because they're just slice of life things that you would do for Snapchat. So we find out that this movie is set in Kansas. And that's kind of scary because really the best thing to come out of Kansas is Interstate 70. No offense to anybody from Kansas. It's a joke. And then it cuts to a couple of guys at a McDonald's and they're getting together so we can see what's going on along the way. There's one. They're debating on what they're going to do an interview about because apparently they have to do an interview for a class in 2 weeks. So they're supposed to film this over the Christmas holiday. So they decide to do the Kids in the Woods because it's a local urban legend and they're going to go out and look for the kids in the woods because they need something to do. It's Kansas. They get together with their group of friends and they say, this is what we're going to do. We're going out to the woods. We're going to find these kids. We'll make it tight, all right? So they go looking for the kids and they find the kids. Well, they find one kid who is just there. Okay. And they talk to him and then they go out their merry way and they split up. And then there's a recording of a phone call from Group B, the ones that think they found something, to Group A, the ones that found the ladder, saying that they think they know where to go. You know, sort of a sail with me across the sea sort of thing. Sorry, that was a hard lyric to get in there. And they all end up in a field, and they see a bunch of kids running away. And there's this one kid who's apparently very athletic, and he has a GoPro strapped to his chest, and he starts running because no place is too far. So the kid with a GoPro, he keeps running, and he just passes out from exhaustion. GoPro guy's friends find him, and they start talking with the kids, and they said, can we do an interview with you? Can we come back tomorrow and do an interview because it's getting late? So the kids they find, they're like, yeah, sure, why not? And then they just walk away into the woods. And the friends go home. There is one thing that's somewhat irritated me about this movie. It's scored. There's a musical score to it, and I don't like found footage films to have a musical score because it's supposed to be raw, unedited footage. Why would there be a music score to it? Do you know, Bogue? She doesn't know. So they go to one of the kids' house, and they start looking over the footage and they think it's kind of creepy. It's the one that makes it so she can't sleep at night. Ooh. Got it. I got that one. But then the screen goes black and all we do is hear everything, and it's basically what's going on while they're going back to the woods. The video cuts back and they're in a field and the kids are like standing in a circle doing really cult-like things. Yeah, so they decide to run away. And then Sound Siren! A siren starts playing. And it's dark and one of the girls gets taken, then the rest of them get jumped and they get away, and then one of them dies, but then he doesn't die, and it's very confused at this point. Shots just happening all over the place. And so they're stuck in the woods, but they finally get to their car and they leave the park in an orderly fashion, all while this siren is sounding and they're being chased by an ominous Nissan. Oh no, not a Nissan, anything but an import. They're in the car, they're driving around. It turns out that they've been in a Mobius strip of a neighborhood. Everything kept leading back to the park. Well, they end up just pulling into this random house with no lights on, with the garage open. They pull into the garage, but they don't close the garage. First thing you should do when you're trying to outrun somebody is hide. And while they're all there, they're scared, they're crying, and they have a philosophical debate. And then the one guy who died but didn't really die, he starts talking about how the siren's been there forever and it's evil. There's gotta be evil and good in the world. There has to be balance, and the siren is evil. At this point, I was wondering, is this supposed to be a Siren Head movie? Because if so, yeah. For those of you who don't know, Siren Head is an internet cryptic. I don't know much about him. I just know he's really tall, really lanky, and has a siren for a head. That's about it. At this point, I really wrote, this is getting too complicated. So then they're getting attacked in this house, so they run out to the garage, which is open, and something happens and they're all gone. End of the movie. So this had a good premise and it had a good build-up, and then it just got far too complicated by the end. They even had really amiable characters. The kids overall were actually pretty charismatic for being high school kids. So it was a good movie up until the end. And cheers to you as well. It's through. Sound siren. We got one more in there. Have you seen this movie? If so, leave me a message down below. And of course, if you want to see what I'm talking about, it will be linked in the description. So go and see it if you want. Well, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. And come back tomorrow for another found footage nightmare.